That is not how you make your bed, by the way. How's it going, guys? Monday NASCAR race, which is definitely a little bit different. Before I get started, just want to let you guys know I've been working on a video that will be coming out this week, kind of midweek. So I think Wednesday probably is going to be the first day that the 2 videos will be uploaded. One video and then another one back to back. It's basically talking about NASCAR, so just make sure you stick around for that. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you aren't already. And now let's talk about Martinsville, 2018 NASCAR Martinsville. Every time you even hear the word Martinsville, it's a good day. It's a very good day because it's the one day of the year, actually 2 days of the year when we go back in October, that we could be happy as NASCAR fans that we're going to probably the best racetrack on the circuit, and we don't have to deal with all the issues that we have right now. So let's talk about the race. Snowed out on Sunday. We race on Monday, but the conditions were pretty all right for a Monday race. Sunny, pretty cold. The track was pretty cold, and the rubber buildup was obviously going to be a big factor in who was fast at the end of the day. So the beginning of the race, Truex had the pole, but didn't really look super strong at the beginning. Kyle Busch was able to overtake him, but who looked like the strongest car at the beginning of the race was Denny Hamlin, and he actually would go on to win stage 1 as well. He really dominated the first stage of the race. He looked really good, and also at the end of stage 1 we had some pretty solid racing between Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski trying to get around lap cars as well, and Jamie McMurray trying to stay on the lead lap, and all that craziness going on there. And that's just something that when you see my video on Wednesday talking about the issues, but stage racing can be good if you have tracks like this. So this is where I think Martinsville really shows that stage racing can be really fun because you would not be racing like that if you didn't know that a caution was going to come out of that moment. Jamie McMurray would not have raced that hard against Denny Hamlin if he didn't know a caution was coming out that same exact lap, and Brad Keselowski would not be racing Denny Hamlin that hard, and Denny Hamlin wouldn't be fighting that hard if all that, that same situation was in play, if a caution was going to come out on that lap. So really definitely a lot of fun racing there. As the track would change and you would go through the middle part of the race, which was stage 2, you would have different kind of players coming and going. Denny Hamlin was always up there, but he wasn't as dominant. And Ryan Blaney, actually, young Ryan Blaney would come in YRB, and he would definitely be a pretty good race car. He would be the best car of stage 2 and dominate a lot of stage 2. And also something that was very interesting to this point of the race was there was no actual natural cautions. There was only 2 cautions in the race to this point: the competition caution on lap 50 and the stage end caution. Definitely a little bit interesting Martinsville race. And then stage 2 followed that same exact path of we're not really going to have any cautions. They ran over 100 laps of green flag racing, and Ryan Blaney in the end would go ahead and win stage 2 as well. But Denny Hamlin didn't seem like he had that best car. So it would be interesting to see who has the best car in stage 3. So stage 3 rolls around, and again you have different players coming up towards the front. You have Clint Bowyer coming back up there. Kyle Busch was starting to really show his muscle as well. But Kyle Busch was kind of always around that area, but he never really had the best car. So Kyle Busch was up there. Clint Bowyer takes the lead. He looks really good. And this is also the stage where a lot of action-packed stuff was starting to happen. Logano and Jimmy Johnson, they're getting a little bit heated. Jimmy's just running his line. Logano's getting annoyed because Jimmy's running his line. And neither driver does anything wrong here. It's just that Jimmy's trying to fight hard and Logano's trying to pass, and it could just be really frustrating. And you could actually feel for Logano a little bit because Logano said he let Jimmy go by earlier in the race, and he was kind of hoping for the same kind of courtesy, and he never got it. So you could also argue it's the third stage of the race. You're in the final 125 laps or 200 laps, so you kind of got to race harder than you want to. And it's just, I mean, but that's Martinsville. That's short track racing. That's what we want. And I think by far the funniest moment of the race was the ultimate sign of disrespect that you could show to a race car driver, which is when Kevin Harvick brake checks Denny Hamlin. A brake check, you can't be angry at either driver or call them a twat. You just can't, because a brake check is just the true sign of the driver delivering the brake check saying, I don't even care if my car gets damaged. I really dislike what you're doing. I hate you at the moment. So I'm just going to brake check you. That's the ultimate sign of disrespect. To me, it's even worse than actually turning someone into a corner on purpose. It's so disrespectful just to brake check someone. And this actually would ruin Denny Hamlin's day because that brake check really hurt the front end of Hamlin's car. He had to come back down pit road under caution and pit twice, goes to the back of the pack, and then the speed was never there, and that really ruined his day. So Kevin Harvick took things into his own hands and just, he ruined Hamlin's day. It's a brake check out I mean, man, brake checking is just hilarious. But then again, it's short track racing, so I should kind of expect it, and we should want that, because I don't know, this is what NASCAR is. More short tracks. Let's just race in Martinsville every single week. And later on in the final stage as well, Austin Dillon would get loose underneath Jamie Mack, and McMurray was set into the wall. That one, I don't know if you could be mad if you're Jamie McMurray on that one, because Austin Dillon just got loose. I mean, he didn't mean to do it, it just happened. Again, short track racing. Again, NASCAR, Brian France. You listening? Yeah. You know what I want to say. So we go to the end of the race, and this race basically ran on a really long green flag run. And Clint Bowyer, who was in the lead, got really lucky a little bit earlier in the race because at the end of stage 2, heading into the final 100 laps, he didn't get his tank full of fuel on the pit stop at the end of stage 2. So with the long green flag runs, he was actually looking at having to pit before that Jamie McMurray caution came out. When that caution comes out, he only had, I would say, about 10 laps of fuel left in the tank, and if he would have had to pit, it'd be very likely a caution would have come out between him and the rest of the field having to pit as well. Really lucky for Clint Bowyer to be able to hold on, and then as the race goes on, and as the green flag run goes on, you would kind of expect Bowyer to maybe fall off, because he got really good right at the beginning of stage 3, and as the rubber starts to build up and he's running in the lead, maybe he's burning his stuff up. But Clint Bowyer did a fantastic job of being able to keep his rear tires in the car. He was running a very low line. He wasn't diamonding the corners, but he was just riding right on that curb, rolling very nicely through the middle of the corner and trying to drive straight up off the corner. There are two different ways to drive Martinsville. You can diamond the corners, like Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson would do a lot back in the day, or you could just run along the curb, which is a lot. It seems like a lot of people are starting to do that in the modern day Martinsville. So I don't know which form's better. It all depends on what kind of feel you want as a driver. But Bowyer was he was rotating through the middle so incredibly well, and he didn't have to get on the throttle that hard coming out of the corners. And when he was able to get out of the corners, he was coming off so low that he could just drive it straight up off and doing a fantastic job. And at the end of the race, Clint Bowyer would go ahead and win it, and it's deserved. I mean, no one else. I think everyone likes Clint Bowyer. You cannot not like him. He's a great guy. So it was really nice to see him win. And then the burnout was pretty hilarious. I mean, Bowyer is a personality, so you could just see when he does that burnout. You can see his personality in his car. You just see it. That car, it has an aura that represents his personality. So definitely cool there. So let's get to the race results. Clint Bowyer, number 1. Kyle Busch in 2nd. Ryan Blaney in 3rd. Good run for Ryan Blaney. Truex doing what he's been doing the whole season, being very consistent. Kevin Harvick. Good run for Kevin Harvick in Martinsville. He's not the best of Martinsville, so good run in 5th. Joey Logano, nice to see him kind of looking like he got his mojo back from last season. He deserves to be up there. Alex Bowman, best finish he's had in his career, I think. I don't think it's his career best, definitely his season best. So Alex Bowman carrying the Hendrick results there in 7th. AJ Allmendinger, huge shout out to AJ. He was arguably the best Chevy car for most of the race, which was odd to hear as a AJ Allmendinger being the best Chevy, but he was really good most of the race. Chase Elliott in 9th. Don't ask me how he got there. He was horrible the entire race and somehow got to 9th. He was a lap down most of the race and somehow got to 9th. So in the big picture though, Chase Elliott, I mean, for Alex Bowman is a good result. For Chase Elliott, you expect more out of him. For Hendrick overall, when we get there, and Brad Keselowski rounding out the top 10. Keselowski's car just didn't, like I said, with cars going and, coming and going, and with the track rubbering up and all that, Brad Keselowski's car just didn't agree, I guess, with the rubber building up. Kurt Busch in 11th, Denny Hamlin in 12th. Like I said, Denny Hamlin's race is pretty much ruined from the brake check. Paul Menard 13th, Eric Almirola 14th, and Jimmy Johnson in 15th. It's a cool fact about Eric Almirola. 14th place is actually his worst finish of the season. So through 6 races, that's actually, to have 14th be your worst finish, not bad. Larson, Jones, Suarez, Newman, William, Byron, round out your top 20, and then throughout the rest of the field, you guys can read off the names. Austin Dillon back there in 30th, and also Bubba Wallace went 14 laps down when I think he cut a tire, and then a sway bar broke from that, and then it just compiled on from there. Overall, the race, really good. I mean, when's Martinsville not a good race? It was odd to see the lack of cautions, and I don't know what you could relate that to. I don't know if it's... To me, I was thinking to myself, and I was like, well, back in the day, I'm talking like 2005, 2006, the cars were a little bit higher off the track. These cars have no ride height anymore. So when you try to bump someone, and with these bumpers being so low, when you bump someone, it's kind of like bumper carts. You're not really lifting them up off the ground unless you really try to lift them up off the ground. Where back in the day, you could actually just tap someone, and it could send them spinning. So I think that has something to do with it, but also... I don't know. It was interesting. I think maybe the colder temperatures, a little bit extra grip. The cars didn't look too squirrely coming out of the corners. Everyone kind of treated each other with a good amount of respect. And when you would get into the back of someone, like I said, it doesn't lift you up off the ground unless you're really trying to. You would just kind of shove them up the track. So I don't know, because maybe that the lower ride height contributed to the lack of cautions, but it was just an interesting race. It was a good one. Stewart-Haas Racing continuing. I think this win is the most important win for Stewart-Haas Racing because it wasn't Harvick. It showed that the rest of the team also have capabilities to win. So having Clint Bowyer win for Stewart-Haas, really big there. And for Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman finishing 7th is great, but it's not good enough. Until you see Hendrick let me put it this way. Jimmy Johnson was actually in contention for wins last season earlier in the year, and he did win a couple races. This season, no Hendrick car has been in contention to win. None of them. They haven't been able to be fast enough up towards the front to even be in contention. We're not even, I mean, we're talking about at least being in the top 5, and they can't do that. So right now, I think it's time to worry. Hendrick, they are very far off. And yes, you can say wait till the summer months. Well, Jimmy's going to suck in the summer months no matter what, because Jimmy always sucks in the summer months. He will admit to that. But the rest of the organization, if they don't pick it up in the summer, the thing is they're so far off right now that I don't see it. I mean, just me personally, I don't see it happening. I don't see where the improvement's going to come. I might see minor improvements, but to the point where Hendrick becomes Hendrick again, it hasn't happened since Jeff Gordon left. Conspiracy theory? I mean, he is the GOAT, just saying. He is. Anyway, you guys comment down below about everything that happened in the race today. Also, make sure you watch that video that's going to be coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, the back-to-back videos about NASCAR in general. Make sure you share that as much as you can. Make sure the message is spread. I was very proud of myself in that video because I didn't rant. I know some of you guys want me to rant. I didn't rant. I did it in a very professional way. So I'm very excited for that coming out. If you like this video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. More short tracks, please. I pray. It's Martinsville. It's fantastic. We could just race there every week. I'd be okay with it. Create 35 other Martinsvilles. I'll be okay with it. It'll be fantastic. So that'll be great. I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Have a good night. And peace out. I can't change. Even if I tried. Even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I try, my love, she keeps me warm.